Hello, welcome back for our next episode of Animus. I am looking forward to seeing what all happens tonight as we drop off supplies at a war-torn mining colony, and definitely won't be, flirting with any smugglers or freighter captains, and there might be some folks getting off the ship. We'll find out. Before we do that,
I just got here.
I'm sure you'll be fine. Before we jump in, though, I'm going to say a few words about our sponsors, which are Fundamental RPG. It looks like this, and you can pick up your copy on Amazon if you want the physical book, or if you prefer PDFs, or if you want to try the free quick play guide, you can grab those at coffee.com/raven, like it's spelled at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. And is also the system that Animus runs on. Excuse me. Also go check out Die Hard Dice at dieharddice.com. If you use the code FUNRPG, you can get 10% off of your order. And I highly recommend checking out the Alessia Bloodfire set. I got sent a set of it recently, and they are really pretty. I've been having a lot of fun rolling them. And there's a link straight to that set right there in chat. With all that done, we'll start with intros. On the top left, Jay, tell us a little bit about Sparky and yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm Jay, Aurelian Jays. I'm a writer and a game dev, and tonight I'm playing Sparky, who is a clone who is also an ex-assassin who is very conflicted about one of those things, and is currently having to deal with the fact that their mentor, father figure, and also hired killer is now living on the ship with them in some weird semi-adoptee basis. So there's that, which is nice. And they also recently had major surgery to get a control device taken out of their chest. So hopefully that doesn't go bad.
What's the worst that could happen? Next, we've got V. Tell us a little bit about Annie and yourself.
Hi, I'm V. I am an artist. I work now primarily in digital. I also do some traditional stuff in watercolor and pencil sketch. And you can check out my work. I have an art Twitter, which is at Peppero Draws, and that's Peppero like the candy. And I play Annie, and she is sort of our Robin Hood character, though instead of stealing from the rich and giving to the poor, she would steal from the rich and sell to the less rich. Annie has a background in information brokering. She would kind of crack into larger companies and borrow perhaps some of their vital information and use that for monetary gain. It's fine. Don't worry about it. She is currently on the ship with her little brother Liam, who was rescued from the cartel, and she's not really talked much about her family aside from him, so maybe we'll eventually get to see some of that. Who knows? But yeah, that's me and Annie.
Awesome. Next, let's hop over to Can to tell us a little bit about Billy and yourself.
Hi, I'm Can Chaos. I'm a digital artist. You can find me around at Can Chaos art on Twitter. I play Billy. She's sorry, my brain is not very, very awake right now. I'm playing Billy. She's a former miner, now part of the crew, and really, really hoping not to get caught by the people who made her what she is today.
All right. Next, we've got Hannah. Tell us a little bit about Lev and yourself.
Hey, hi, hello. I'm Hannah, or Whoa Hannah. I exist and stuff. Gonna do good things one day. Tonight I'm playing Lev, who is the ship's newly acquired medic with a gun. Those things are unrelated, but it's fine. I'm the one who performed major surgery on Sparky, and is now attempting to figure out how to figure caffeine withdrawal out. I don't know what Lev has no idea what they've gotten themselves into with this group that they met by literal happenstance. We're working on it. It'll be fine.
It's fine. All right. Next, we've got Goody. Tell us a little bit about Captain and yourself.
I am Goody. I don't do anything cool, but I play Captain. And Captain is an android, and she is more sapient than androids typically are in this universe, but she's also a Black Ops murder droid. And Kitten, could you not right now? Thank you. But as soon as I started talking, my cat decided to get up in my business. But she doesn't want to be human, but she does want to understand her humans better. She finds them very silly, but she loves plants and flowers. But she will take a wall down if she needs to. So, yeah.
As has been proven.
Yes.
All right. And that just leaves me. I'm Raven. I'm a professional storyteller and game designer, an artist, and I do a whole bunch of other things. You can find all my stuff at theravenevermore.com. That's RAVYN evermore.com. And then I play everybody else in the galaxy. So last session we left off. The ship was getting unloaded. I can't remember who was on the ship and who went to go meet Sonia.
I know I was on the ship. I think Lev was as well.
Okay.
Captain and Annie went together to go meet Sonia.
That's right. And Seth and Liam ran off to go do a thing. And then what was Billy doing?
Billy was unloading things and loading things because she drank 5 pots of coffee.
Oh, that's right. All right. Well then, let's start with the group that was heading in. So you met Captain Tom Stryker, who introduced himself, and then sort of directed you where Sonia was before swaggering off, I guess you could say. So the door to the room is in front of you. I presume you go in?
Is the doorknob a mimic? Sorry, wrong system. Yes, we go in.
It is not a mimic, no. All right, so you go into the room.
I've never played D&D. I don't have the authority to make that joke.
That just makes it even better.
I love this.
Because you used it in context.
Yeah.
The fact that you knew, though, to jump straight to mimic. Yeah,
I've seen enough memes. I
cultural
feel like
osmosis.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a solid basis in memes, so that's the knowledge that I'm going off of.
Fair
That's all it
enough.
takes. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
I love with chat. Why must you make a door so concerning? So yeah, you open the door, and it's very similar to the last time that you saw Sonia, in that there's a big open room with tables on the edges, and people are running around and handling logistics and things. Sonia's there directing everyone, but this room is actually whole. There's a ceiling, unlike the last time that you encountered Sonia, and she's looking not fully rested, but more rested than she used to. And she spots the two of you and waves after looking at someone and saying, no, not those forms, these forms, and sending somebody off into another part of the building.
Captain's eyes go to the hole in the ceiling.
Oh no, there is no hole on the ceiling.
Oh, I misheard you.
They actually have a ceiling now versus last time
Oh.
when there was a giant hole in the ceiling.
Right, okay. I thought you were saying there was a hole in the ceiling, like, what?
Sorry.
They'll get around to patching that up eventually.
I mean, that'd be an interesting story. No, but Captain just approaches the table.
Sonia says, "Hey, good to see you again. When I asked for those supplies, I don't think I realized you would all be delivering them in person. So it's great to see you again."
We had an opening in our schedule and figured it would be best to do it ourselves.
Oh, cool. Did everything okay? No complications? Taking a long time to answer that question.
Complications concerning this colony directly, no. But I assume you've been made aware of what's happening in the galaxy?
There's a war, yeah?
Correct.
Yeah. It's actually, this is gonna sound awful, but it's actually been kind of nice, because it's meant there's not war here.
Right. We are happy to see that things seem to have lightened up artillery-wise.
Yeah, SME has bigger problems to deal with right now, so they've buggered off, you could say.
I don't know what that means.
They've run off to go do other things.
Captain's going to turn to Annie and say, "Is buggered a term I should be using?"
Isn't buggered when some guy sticks his dick up another guy's butt?
You're not in this scene.
Billy's not there.
Oh wait, no. I'm sorry. I realized no. Billy's with I thought with Captain and.
Oh, you said you were helping to unload because you had 5 pots of coffee.
Oh, unloading. Sorry, my brain just.
No worries. I'm not far off from that myself right now. So yeah, Captain, you asked Annie about that term. What does Annie say?
Annie's like, well, it's a little more informal, so I guess it really depends on how you're feeling.
Oh. All right.
Sonia kind of interjects and is like, it's not considered polite language for some circles.
Annie just like nods sagely. Mm-hmm.
It is a swear of some kind.
Kind of, yeah.
Understood.
Anyways, I'm glad you could make the delivery. I hope you didn't have any trouble getting them. I know supply lines are very iffy right now.
Annie doesn't say anything, but she looks at Sonia and just gives like a very exaggerated wink. Because if I remember correctly, didn't she like manage to get them like double the supplies or something like that?
No, you got you hacked in and made it so that it looked like it was already paid for.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
the free stuff. Yeah, so Annie just like very exaggerated wink, like you know, the vibe of it wasn't any problem at all.
Now, here's a question I don't think we ever answered. Did you pass on the savings to the mining colony, or did you just quietly pocket that?
I don't remember what we did.
I don't think we ever said.
What
I thought we
savings?
did
Did we
take
have
the money.
Yeah.
I thought
What-
we didn't
what money
take
is
the
it?
money.
I don't remember. It's been a while.
We're all just collectively like, huh?
But yeah, she just kind of nods quizzically, like, yeah, awkwardly winks back. Not really, like, it's obvious she's not quite sure what she's winking at, but she's like, okay. just yeah, these building supplies are going to be great. We're going to build, hopefully, we're going to build out some sort of hospital, so we can stop using the cafeteria, and then we can actually have food in the food place, which is a novel idea. And her brain just sort of goes about 1,000 miles away for a second, and then she turns back to, she's like, yeah. Well, what are you all gonna do from here? Are you sticking here for a while? Are you looking for work, or?
We certainly will not turn down work, but we might stay around for a couple of days. One of our crewmates is recovering from surgery,
Oh,
so it wouldn't be a bad idea for us to remain planetside for a little while.
okay, yeah. I hope everything's okay and they're healthy.
Oh, they've never been better.
And he's
Oh,
like,
that's great.
you know, when you go to a doctor and they kind of point out that you've been born with one more bone or something that normal people don't have, it was kind of like that. So it's just a quick removal. Everything's okay. Nobody died, so that's a plus.
Yeah, sure. Like that. Okay. Well, I'm glad everybody's okay. If you need lodging, you probably have nicer lodging on your ship than we have here still, but like if you want a room, we can take care of that. And if you're looking for work, there's plenty of that. If you're looking to buy or sell, we do have a bit of a trade post set up now. I'm sure they would be very thrilled to see somebody new coming in with money, as that's not something we see a lot of coming. We're not big on the tourist attractions right now.
That is fine. However, we do have one crewmate now. They come from one of the, I suppose you would say, less liberated mining colonies.
Oh, I've heard of those. If
And,
it's what I'm thinking you're talking about.
We're having to introduce her to her own humanity.
Okay.
So perhaps seeing other miners still working, but in a humane way, would be helpful.
Yeah, we can set up the tour of the facilities. I think I can spare somebody to do that probably tomorrow. Yeah, we can give them the tour. They can see what our processes are, and we just actually got done with an employee manual. I'm sure I can scrounge up a copy of that. If you think that might help.
I'm sure she would be thrilled.
Okay. And just because I think it's funny, she calls across the room and goes, "Hey, Billy, do you have time for a tour tomorrow?" And this guy comes running over. He's like, yeah, I think I've got time to show somebody around tomorrow around like 1. Yeah, that'll work. So she then introduces Billy to the two of you and says, yeah, this is Billy. He'll be happy to give you a tour tomorrow. Will 1 o'clock work?
That should work wonderfully. His name is seriously Billy?
Yeah?
Well,
Is that...
our crewmate's name is Billy.
Oh, that's an odd coincidence.
But I think she will somehow find that entertaining.
Okay, well, I guess we'll see it for the tour at 1, and then if you need anything else, just let me know. I'll be here, busy, but I'll be here.
Fantastic. And if you see 2 young men intervening some way, if they get in the way, just send them back to the ship.
Oh,
You can give them a good smack first, just right over the back of the head. Send them right back to us. They're fine.
yeah, I probably won't do that, but good to know. Do they have names? These two interveners?
You can just call them Thing 1 and Thing 2. I'm sure they'll respond.
Oh, that seems really disrespectful, but okay.
No, Annie starts to laugh. She's like, no, I'm kidding. One of them is my little brother, so I have a sisterly obligation to say things like that. No, it's literally
I see. I've heard of this sibling rivalry thing. Okay, well, I will be sure to send them back if they're being disruptive. I've got to get on a video call here, so I'm gonna have to run. But it was great to see you again, and with that, Sonia's sort of running off into an office.
You as well, just after.
She kind of waves while she's running to get to her meeting. So you basically can do anything that you'd like at this point. There is a trade post. There's a cafeteria, which is currently serving as a hospital of sorts. There are like office buildings. There's a big bunker complex that V and Goody you might recall from Animus Violentus. It's pretty large and a lot of it hasn't really been explored, so that is an option that they would not mind if you wanted to go look through there and scout it out for them. It's also a big planet. It looks a lot like southern Utah, so there's lots of outdoor activities you could probably do. What would you like to do?
Just as an interjection before we get too far, once everybody is out of range and Annie and Cap are kind of alone, Annie's gonna like lower her voice and lean in. She's gonna be like, next time we steal things for these people, we're gonna have to steal them a sense of humor.
So Sonia would just be like, a sense of humor in this economy? She doesn't have time for humor.
Captain's just going to nod and say, they do seem stressed.
I mean, when you put it like that, you just make me sound like the jerk. I know there's a war going on, Cap, but come on. You gotta have a moment or two just to have a little chuckle, or else what the hell is anything worth, right?
I'm sorry they did not laugh at your jokes, Annie.
Thanks, Cap. And she just like gives her a little pat on the shoulder. She's like, sometimes it's just nice to be appreciated. Thanks, Cap.
Oh my god, Annie's reminding me of Wayne when somebody doesn't laugh at his joke. Oh, that's great. All right. What's going on the ship while this is happening?
Medicine stuff.
Probably laying in bed resting.
Medical words.
The opposite of bullet words.
Yes.
I am proficient in both.
It's true. I think which is
Words.
terrifying, actually. I think Sparky would be looking up anything they could, like maybe just swapping info with someone on the colony, like one of Sonia's flunkies or something.
Yeah. There is there's someone there at like the communications station. What's a good name for somebody that spends most of their time indoors on radios and computers and likes it that way?
Listen,
Thurman.
if you're going to insult me, just come out and insult me.
Hedgewig.
Carlisle.
Oh, I like Carlisle. We'll go with Carlisle. So there is someone named Carlisle.
So rude.
There's
Or
nothing
Carlisle,
wrong with it. I'm
as
just
I
saying
pronounced it for
that's what their
years.
personality is.
I also used to say that
Cootie, so it's all right. Don't worry.
Yeah. Until I heard it out loud, and I was like, "Oh wait, what?"
That's like every Scottish name. Irish name.
Irish, yeah.
Skyrish, yeah.
Skyrish.
Charisse is not spelled properly. Figure it out.
Siobhan.
Siobhan,
Oh,
yeah.
Skyrish is that tiny little like sort of province on the edge of Skyrim, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
That's what they
it's
speak in
ish.
It's where
Skyrim.
Todd Howard lives.
Oh my god.
It just
Where we
works.
banned Todd Howard.
Anyways, Carlisle is happy to talk to you, Sparky. What information would you like to know?
Probably about any other any other colonies they're in contact with that they might be helping out, if at all. Any information they might have about the war, just basically just getting a feel for what they've been up to, and if there's anything they know that would then help us in either liberating some other group or maybe finding out more about these clone soldiers.
Okay. Good questions. Excuse me. So as far as other colonies go, they aren't working with much of anything right now, but they do know of some. So they give you contact information for some other colonies along the sort of the outer rim here. For the most part, the wars kind of left them alone, because a lot of the bigger corporations have been pulling back in towards the Sol and Centauri systems. They don't have a lot of information on the war, aside from a couple of spots where it's not dangerous to move supplies through, or where it is dangerous to move supplies through. It's not safe, is what I was trying to say. So they have a little bit of information on that. Aside from that, Carlisle tells you about one of the little food stands in the trade post area that makes a super delicious poutine. And he kind of goes on about that and how you should try it. But that's about all Carlisle knows, though he is very friendly and happy to talk to you.
Okay, once Carlisle starts going off about the poutine, Sparky kind of, the thing where you're listening to someone on the phone, but you're not really listening, you're kind of just like making appearances. That's basically what they're doing, and they're going to start kind of searching elsewhere on either their local extranet or kind of just anything that's going on around the system.
Yeah, it's pretty mostly empty. There's a few. They're kind of like temporary space stations. So it's like the equivalent of how to make an analogy for this. So kind of like if you were at a construction site and there's like this sort of
like
trailer
a Quonset hut sort of
trailer that's been thrown up pretty hastily, but it works as it works as an office. So it's like the space equivalent of those.
Okay, so like a little pop-up.
Yeah.
Modular. Yeah.
Pop-up, thank you. That's the phrase I was looking for, not thrown up.
Just a little hang on, you can talk in a minute. Okay.
So there are things that you can dock with, and there is a room in there with life support, but it's there's not much else to
Bare
it.
bones. Did you say that other mining colony was in system, or was it further out?
Different systems.
Different systems. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I will mull that over.
All right. Anything from Billy?
Billy, not used to being on a planet, particularly, gets lost.
All right.
She just wanted to, see if she could see over the edge of what she thought was a cliff over there.
Okay.
Kept
Oh
walking.
no.
She's not quite used to horizon lines.
That's fair. Well,
She's never dealt with a horizon.
That's fair. Well, let's do naturalist to see if you can find your way back. 24. So with a 24, you're pretty sure you know the direction that the landing area was in. But you're not quite able to like retrace your steps. So you know the direction, and it does involve a little bit of hiking and climbing. But you are eventually able to get back, assuming that's, what you're setting out to do immediately.
Yep. Along the way, if there's any particularly interesting plants that she thinks the captain would like, she's trying to scoop them up with their roots intact.
There's a lot of sagebrush-like plants. There are some flowering. They're basically weeds, but they do have pretty flowers on them. They're obviously suited to arid environments. But there's a lot of those scattered around that you can easily get to.
She's got a lot of pockets on her jumpsuit. Each pocket is getting dirt and a plant.
I love that. There's also some what are they called?
Cacti?
No, they're pine trees that grow in really rocky, arid environments.
Oh, like scrub pines?
Yeah. There's a different word for it that I'm trying to think of that is escaping me. But yeah, basically, it's little scrappy pine trees. They're not like your.
She tries to find one that's small enough that she can fit it in a pocket.
I call those spite pines.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, you can find a little one that you're able to pull out without damaging the roots or anything. And after probably about an hour of trying to find your way and finding plants and things, you're able to get back to the landing area. There's not much in the way of animal life that you're able to see while you're out there. Really, the only thing that you come across are these. It kind of looks like a cross between like a honeybee and a grasshopper. That you can see going around, and it looks like that's the primary form of pollination. Yeah, pollinator.
She is absolutely entranced by these things and gets lost for at least another 15 minutes just following around one because, oh my god, why is it so tiny and fluffy?
Fantastic. Yeah, so you get back to the ship, pockets full of dirt and plants, and otherwise none the worse for wear.
She is going to go and try and find pots or cups or bowls or whatever is suitable for putting these dirts and plants in. She is leaving a trail of dirt behind her.
I love that. Trying to think.
Is the ship open right now? Because it's docked?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because please feel free to picture Lev similar to Kaylee from Beginning of Fireflies, hanging out on a beach chair reading.
Love that.
Sitting near the entrance, just watching.
Watching Billy come in, just absolutely covered in dirt and leaking dirt and covered in plants.
Does a little nod.
Love that. While you're inside looking for things to put plants into, Daisy does pop up because she's on the ship. Sees the trail of dirt and is like, is everything okay?
Yes, I just got more plants for the captain
Oh, where do you get those?
outside. It's very big out there.
Yeah, it's
The cliff is a lot farther away than you think it is.
yeah, it's a ways off. Yeah, newly like pre-industrial terraformed planets like this are always feel massive because there's just nothing out there except for kind of the beginnings of nature.
There is so many things out there. I mean, did you see the little fluffy things?
Little fluffy things. Are there like,
They're all over. They're so cute.
is it like a seed pod thing?
No, 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 no. They were jumping.
Oh, those little insects. Yeah, those are cute.
Billy is kind of still like making sure there's at least a table between her and Daisy.
Daisy is completely oblivious to this and so like keeps moving closer while she's talking.
It's a round table, so they're like slowly rotating on either side, and there's just a trail of dirt getting larger and larger as they do this.
And yeah, Daisy's just oblivious to this, so she just keeps circling around the table just while she's talking. And then eventually goes, "Oh, if you need some like pots for that or something like that, I think there's some in the cargo hold. It's the third trunk from the top on the left-hand side."
Billy nods, finishes putting them away into the bowls for right now, because that way she can empty her pockets and actually climb up to get things out of the cargo hold.
And Daisy's just, trying to be helpful. She's like, you need any help?
No, I have this.
All right, well, if you need any help, I'll just be over here.
Don't touch my plants.
I wasn't gonna, but okay. And she goes off about her business. Hopping back over to Captain.
So currently in the kitchen, for anybody who goes in there, there is a table that is pretty much surrounded by dirt and half covered in dirt with a bunch of bowls with plants in it, with plants and dirt in them.
Love that. Hopping back over to Captain and Annie. What are you doing from here?
I think Captain would probably just head back to the ship since she's going to be apparently attending a tour of the facility tomorrow at 1. So she's probably just going to go back to the ship and relax, whatever that means for her.
Okay. How about Annie?
Well, Seth and Liam are off doing their own thing, so she'll probably stick around and see if there's just anything that immediately needs a second set of hands or a fourth or fifth set of hands, whatever she can help out with. She'll just kind of do some tasks around for Sonia or anybody working around that needs help.
Okay. Yeah, there's some things to do. What those are escapes me at the moment, but yeah, there's random tasks that they can have you do, filing and organizing things, and they're also having a sort of an issue with the logistics of how they're going to build the hospital that they might ask you to help with.
Yeah, Annie's cool with whatever.
Okay. And then, yeah, Captain, when you get back to the ship to go relax, there's a trail of dirt leading into the mess hall.
Captain's going to follow it.
Okay. You eventually find the kitchen and the dining table covered in dirt and bowls with plants in them, and a circle of dirt around the table with some footsteps in the dirt trail.
Captain's going to follow the footsteps.
They just lead in a circle.
Oh, is anyone there with said plants?
I don't think so.
Billy would probably be returning soon with the pots, but it might be a minute.
That's fair. I guess there probably would be like a diminishing trail back out of the mess hall towards the cargo
Yeah.
bay.
Captain's going to just kind of stand there staring at the plants, like trying to figure out what happened.
Okay. They definitely look like they were planted intentionally.
And they're in bowls.
Yep. I'm assuming like cereal bowls.
Okay.
Yep. And glasses.
Captain's going to pick up a couple of them and move them towards the greenhouse area where they could be properly potted, because she thinks that's what whoever did this was trying to do.
Okay.
But so she'll pick them up just a couple at a time. And well, actually, no, wait. First, she's going to go to her room and get one of her gardening aprons because she doesn't want to get dirt all over her clothes.
I love that.
Probably by the time she returns is when Billy is getting back carrying like 20 pots in one go and just like trying to put them down without breaking them, and also trying to scoop dirt off the floor into them.
Captain helps her put the pots down, like an extra pair of hands will help with that. And then says, Billy, did you get these plants?
Yes, I tried to get a different one of each one because you like plants.
I do. Where did you purchase these?
They were outside.
Oh, you just collected them from the outdoors, from the wild.
I mean, there was nobody telling me not to.
Oh no, it's okay. Typically we have to be careful about doing that sort of thing. We don't want to disrupt ecosystems.
There's a lot of plants out there. There's a lot of plants out there.
I absolutely believe you. We just have to keep in mind that these plants are animals and other smaller things' homes.
I only saw one animal out there, and I don't think these are their homes. They were just like sitting on them. It was really cute.
Okay, that might have been an act of pollination, which it might be that animals.
What's pollination?
It's how plants spread themselves. It's how plants make sure that more plants grow.
Oh, so it's sexual reproduction.
For plants, correct. They use insects and animals and their environment to spread their genetic material.
I mean, that's kinky, but whatever.
I suppose so. I appreciate the action of collecting the plants, and I will absolutely pot these. But maybe next time. I
was going to pot them for you because Daisy told me where to get the pots.
Well, we can pot them together. And how about next time we simply go on a nature walk together? And we can look at them.
I didn't need to go walking so far. I was just trying to get to the cliff.
Why did you wish to go to the cliff?
So I could see what else there was out there.
Did you get to the cliff?
No, it's a lot farther away than I thought it was.
Oh, perspective can be difficult. Yes, we can pot these. And just next time, instead of digging up plants, we can enjoy them in their natural habitat. Humans
if
call
they
them
don't
hikes.
Alright.
It's just a fancy word for walking in weird environments.
I thought a hike was what you do when you're trying to give somebody a lift up. You hike them up.
I believe you were speaking of a derivative of the term hitchhike.
Why would you lift a hitch?
I do not know. I am capable of lifting a hitch,
Same.
but I do not know why I would need to.
Me neither. I mean, unless you have to lift it like to get it onto the hitch latch.
I suppose so.
But that's like the only time you would want to hitch a lift. Or hike a lift? How did you say that? Hitch a hike?
Hitchhike. From what I understand, hitchhike used to mean pick somebody up in your mode of transit along the side of the road.
Oh, so ticking.
Correct. It is an old term from the planet Earth.
Earth was weird.
It remains a strange place.
You've been to Earth?
I have.
What was it like?
Busy, crowded. We encountered a polite mafia.
A polite mafia?
They were a group of people that insisted they were violent, but they treated us very nicely. The violence was at their own insistence, but there are large cities, forms of transport.
I'm sorry, but how are these people? Wow, that's not like how you convince somebody that you're violent.
At that point, we did not wish to find out.
Fair, but that sounds so weird.
It was strange. They had a hideaway beneath a cemetery.
Yeah, you do realize you put the weirdest image of Earth into Billy's head?
I mean, to be fair,
It's like Inspector Gadget level of weird.
basically, I mean, that's what Captain experienced. But I definitely understand why many humans have left Earth and do not wish to return. But it was not as horrible as some people have made it out to be.
I don't know, I just heard that that's where we all came from.
It is where humans
Oh,
originated.
I guess, except for you.
I did not originate on Earth, correct?
Where do you come from?
I honestly do not know.
Oh,
I have a creator. I do not know where they are. At one point, I was within the property of the cartel. And then I left.
do you ever
them.
want to, like, find your creator? I
That
mean,
would be nice.
they'd be like family to you too, right?
I imagine they would probably have some kind of feeling toward me. I was created uniquely. But I do not know where they are or who they are.
Maybe you should ask Annie. She's really smart with, like, the finding people stuff.
She is very resourceful. Perhaps I will ask her.
Billy is just like focused on finishing this potting stuff. She might be sweating a little bit.
Captain shows Billy like how to make sure that there's enough moisture and how to not overwater them.
Nice.
There's still a lot of dirt in that dining room.
Captain will take care of it later. Or make Seth or Liam do it. I don't know.
The real reason Seth leaves the ship. He's tired of doing all the chores.
All right. Is there anything that anybody else wants to do before the day is over and we go on to the next day? All right, then we'll go ahead and fast forward to the next day. And that actually seems like a good spot to take a quick break. So we'll take a break and then we come back. We'll be on the next day and find out what happens with the tour and what trouble everyone ends up getting into. So we'll be right back. And we're back. So, fast forward to the next day. Who all is going on this little tour of the facility and how it operates and everything?
Billy
Probably
squared.
not Sparky, because that seems like
Billy has not woken up yet.
I can't remember what you called it, Lev, but it's like excessive motion or whatever.
It's against doctor's orders at the very least.
All right.
Excessive
Captains,
exercise.
can we field trip, Mom?
All right. It's Captain's field trip, Mom. Billy, I presume, will be woken up before the tour starts.
She's going to be incredibly groggy. You know what happens after you have 5 pots of caffeine, right? The crash.
That
Uh-huh.
was. Oh, I
You
wonder
die.
why motion. Strange.
Curiouser.
So at about noon, Captain's going to go find Billy. Is Billy awake at noon?
Nope.
Captain knocks on her door.
There's no answer. You can hear snoring.
Is her door locked?
Nope. Also, you're the captain.
I respect privacy. Captain walks in.
Billy is sleeping on top of the covers because she didn't really have a chance to have like a bath or anything before she went to sleep, and just like has like an extra jacket pulled up over top of her and is like passed the fuck out. It looks like she barely got under her clothes and just went to sleep.
You're sleepover sleeping.
Captain comes along and gently nudges from the shoulders.
Billy bolts upright, and her eyes might be on their flashlight function. Oh, Captain, why are you in my room?
You did not answer your door.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
It is fine. It is late in the day, and
It is?
yes, you've been asleep for quite some time.
Oh,
But I wanted to offer to you, I made plans for some of us to tour what might be seen as an interesting mining facility to you. This one is liberated. These people make their own decisions and live humanely. They are not run by a corporation, they run themselves. And they've offered to give us a tour.
okay. I need pants
Probably
and
also,
some shoes.
yes. Also, your eyes are on.
She looks incredibly confused for a minute, and then they
You're
turn
admitting-
off.
Yes, you may put your clothing on. I will vacate the premises while you do so. But they're expecting us in about an hour.
Okay.
Is this something you wish to do?
Am I allowed to say no?
Of course, I can just tell them.
I saw some of the mining equipment, and like it's stuff I've seen before. It's stuff I've worked with before, and I'm sure they're doing it a very different way and stuff. But I'd rather not go back in the tunnels right now, if that's okay.
That's fine. A gentleman named Billy was actually going to assist us, but I can simply tell him that you're not interested.
I mean, it's good things to learn about. I mean, if the rest of the crew are interested, I could probably go and explain things if you need things explained.
Oh, I mean, I certainly would not say no to your company, but if it is something that's going to be traumatic to you, I will not force you.
No, I mean, we still have gravity.
Oh, of course, there will always be gravity on this planet.
I mean, I'd hope so. If there wasn't, there'd be a very bad situation for the planet. Mantle would start to crumble, for one thing.
Yes.
And that would be bad.
Yes.
You don't want no gravity happening to a planet. That's a very bad thing.
I don't particularly want no gravity happening where I don't expect it to in general.
And you don't want too much gravity either.
No.
I'm really tired.
How long have you been asleep?
When did I talk to you last?
We last spoke in the greenhouse at 3 p.m. yesterday.
Okay. So sometime after that.
Okay, Billy, as far as my understanding of circadian cycles go,
What's a circadian cycle?
it is how humans sleep and their awakeness. It has to be balanced, I believe. And I think you need to stay awake for a while so that you will sleep tonight.
So I need to have more coffee?
No.
If I may interject, there's, if it's okay,
Yes?
there's a knock on the door.
There is Billy, with one pant leg on, shirt on, kind of looking like barely there.
Lev comes in with a piping hot cup of tea and a handful of supplements. Specifically some vitamins. And it's like, oh, hey, Captain.
Hello.
Billy, I brought you some stuff.
Please do not tell me that is coffee.
It is not. God. Not right now. I'll get into that later. I brought you some tea. It's going to help with the headache that you probably have.
But
Okay.
this is
Billy,
in
can you
character. This is Billy
Yeah,
in
no,
character
I
going,
know.
what?
Billy and level kind of get down on her level, be like, do you think you can drink this tea and take these vitamins for me?
Yeah, I can swallow pills. And she proceeds to dry swallow all the pills.
Cool, that's fine. Here's also the tea.
Ugh.
And then kind of sips at the tea and she's like, this is really weird tasting hot water.
It's made
It's
from
tea.
plants.
It's really weird tasting hot water. She does drink it though.
Do you think you'd like it if it was sweeter? We have sweeteners.
I don't know.
All right, we'll try that later. No more than, how many cups of coffee did you have yesterday? I know you said 5
She
pots.
consumed 5 pots.
Yeah, 5 pots. I'm trying to figure out how many cups that is. And Level turn to Cap and be like, Billy has the most extreme caffeine addiction I think I've ever seen. Which isn't really saying much. I mostly work with mercenaries and they have a different addictions. Anyway, probably she can't go cold turkey because that would probably kill her.
Probably.
So we're gonna slowly. Anyway, that's all I came here to do.
I assume that is a caffeinated tea then not an herbal?
Lightly.
Understood.
I think right about that time, Daisy comes walking down the hallway with like a 32-ounce iced coffee with like the whipped cream, and there's
Lev, hits the door button shut.
Just sort of slurping that in the straw, and sees everybody's like, okay, bye. Keeps walking.
Captain calls outside of the door. Daisy, would you like to tour the mining facility?
I'll open the door again.
So Daisy, like,
You're lucky Billy has not ever had the iced coffee, otherwise she probably would be literally hooked for life.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
So Daisy like pokes her head in from the other direction this time. It's like, gee, as fun as that sounds, I think I'm gonna pass, but I think Liam was saying he was interested in how the place operates. I don't know what he and Seth are up to, but they'll probably want to go.
Did Liam and Seth ever come back?
Yeah, they came back.
Okay.
Okay,
Do we know where they went?
They didn't really talk about it much, but you can certainly ask them about it.
Secret boys
If
things.
Daisy says it's like, wait, so you're staying on the ship?
I don't know, but probably a little bit. Probably finish.
All right, I'll go on the tour.
Okay. Well, have fun. Hi, Doc. Hi, Captain. I think I'm gonna check out the trade post, so I'll either be here or over there. More slurping as she starts walking away.
All right. I will meet you outside the ship in about 45 minutes. I'll contact Seth and Liam. I need to know what they've been up to anyway. Doctor, will you be attending?
I probably should stay to keep an eye on Sparky and stuff.
It's fine.
How do you even hear that?
You didn't take my ears off. Sparky's head like pokes out of the
You
cafeteria.
can actually hear a lot of things if you put your ears up to the vents. They're really good at projecting sounds from around the ship.
Also, it's kind of a small hallway. Hi, Cap.
Hello, Sparky.
I'm going to talk to somebody about soundproof in the med bay.
How are your pain levels, Sparky? And be
You hear,
honest.
like it's a solid pause for about 5 seconds, and then you hear, "Ow!" Like a 6.
Doctor, would you mind checking on them?
I'm gonna go. Live like ducks out.
You just hear like clinking bowls of cereal. Like, why is there dirt everywhere?
I'll send a message to Seth and Liam.
Yeah. They respond. Liam responds first with a, yeah, I wanted to go check that out. And then Seth responds with, yeah, I'll tag along, basically.
What were you doing yesterday?
I just put something in my mouth right
Oh, you're fine.
at the most inopportune time.
Of course. How dare I ask questions?
Should be a waitress with that timing.
Right? I have been.
Well, that's where it's coming from then.
Yep.
Liam just comes down the hall at that point. Nick sticks his head out of the room. He's like, "Oh yeah, we were what's the right word? Prospecting, I guess you could say. The operation here."
For any particular reason?
I'm really curious to know like how they're operating. I wanted to see what their assets were, and I'm actually kind of curious to see how they're doing business-wise. I think I would like to invest in this place. So kind of wanted to check it out. So a tour would be very useful.
Interesting. And Captain just turns around and leaves.
Okay.
Yeah, also the use of the word assets, that will never not be funny. But yeah.
Okay. And unless there's anything else, is Annie gonna go on the tour?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so we've got Annie, Seth, Liam, Billy, and Captain going on the tour. Lev and Sparky and Daisy staying on the ship.
Captain's taking the
That can only
kids
end
out.
well.
Yeah.
We're going on a field trip. Did you bring snackies? I brought snackies.
Everybody get on the bus.
Did
your parents sign the permission slip?
You're their parents.
Trick question. Trick question. I'm your parent.
I was gonna say, I don't know. Did Captain sign all the permission slips?
Stick to your body.
So, weirdly enough, because I don't think anybody here has seen either. Well, no, you've seen Seth look like this once before, but Liam and Seth both come out in like suits, looking very professional.
Billy kind of like looks him up and down. You two look so stupid. Wow.
Liam just looks over at Billy and it's like, aha. How's that caffeine treating you?
Doctor said 5 pots is too much.
Yeah, little bit. Let's do the thing. How does everybody else look?
Captain is in kind of like a like a feminine version of like a safari suit. Minus the dorky hat.
Oh my goodness.
But like a neckerchief, khaki top, high-waisted khaki pants, belted, and boots.
Okay.
And she still remains about 5'2".
And how about Annie?
I was gonna see if I could pull up my Pinterest board for her very quickly, but you got to me too fast. No, I pulled up the wrong goddamn board. I don't know. Annie's. I don't think she's dressed any particular way that's different than usual, which is kind of like,
Black leather cyberpunk goth.
No, but it's like tech wear kind of deal, right? I kind of think tech wear mixed with 2 from Dark Matter.
Yeah.
Kind of deal, right? I think Annie. I was gonna say something and then I realized that could be taken wildly out of context. No, Annie doesn't wear leather very often, so more so like the kind of tech wear look. Yeah, so it's no different than usual.
Okay.
But she does see Liam in his suit, and she has seen Liam look this way for most of his life, depending on, you know, if they were going something fancy or needed to be somewhere. So this is a look that she's familiar with, obviously not since he was younger, but she kind of thinks that something might be up. So she's trying to kind of mask that look on her face. But it's very surreal now seeing him like this when she knows that from a past life.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of where she's at.
I wondered what Annie's reaction to that might be. Yeah, Liam just gives Annie sort of a... It's like a cross between a cocky and a sheepish grin.
She makes her way on over to the boys and gives Liam's hair a little bit of a ruffle.
Hey, just the hair. Just starts smoothing it back down.
And he's like, "Oh, sir, I am sorry. I didn't mean to mess up your hair.
I suppose we'll let it slide this time."
Thank you for your graciousness."
He just chuckles and sort of gives you that same look. Like, isn't really volunteering any information. He's just sort of giving you a look that says he's up to something, but isn't sharing what that is.
Also, I was going to say headcanon, but they're my characters, so I can do whatever the hell I want. They definitely did that when Annie and Liam were younger. Like, anytime they would go somewhere fancy that they didn't want to be, they would, like, put on posh accents and, like, do that back and forth. So I feel like that's definitely a callback to that.
Oh, absolutely. I can imagine them doing the to be fair thing quite a bit, too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Just random shit like that all the time.
Indubitably.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just had my brain reboot. Okay, there we go. So Billy shows up right on time, and he's wearing, like, the style is, you know, probably futuristic by our standards, but it's still essentially khaki slacks with a polo shirt and a clipboard. And he shows up with that, and, like, it's like a hover golf cart. So it's still like a golf cart to go around the facility, but it hovers instead of being on wheels.
Billy looks delighted because she knows exactly what this is, and she knows exactly how you can soup this up.
Love that. But he comes up and says, "Yeah, hello. So I'm Billy. We met briefly yesterday." He looks over at Captain. But yeah, I'm supposed to give you a tour of the facility and, like, how we've changed things up here, and I've got room for all of you on this little vehicle here. Before we get going, do you have any questions?
Yeah, how much have you souped up the motor on this thing yet?
Have
you guys installed one of the graviton fluxers?
Not sure what that is. I think this is just the equipment that was left over when the previous owners of the place skedaddled.
Oh. Do you want it made better by the time we leave?
And he flips through a couple pages on the clipboard. No. Thank you, though.
Are you sure? These things can get a good clip on them.
I'm not sure that would be the most productive in our small compound here, but I appreciate the thought there. Any other questions? About the facility, perhaps? All right, excellent. On we go. And he hops into the driver's seat of the little golf cart thing. There's plenty of room for everyone to sit, and there's even little seat belts that you can clip into. And once everyone's settled, he starts driving, and he is basically taking a giant loop around the whole compound at the moment. So you leave sort of the little, what passes as a road, and it's more of like a cleared off trail, so there's no brush or anything like that that you're gonna hit. And he starts explaining what each building is. Like, that's the administrative building, and that building they do this and that and XYZ, and then points to the area where the mining shaft starts. He's like, and here's the entrance to the mine itself, which we'll go down into in a bit. This is the cafeteria. It's currently set up as
Billy
an infirmary.
starts asking how what they're using for oxygen pump systems for in their mine shafts, as well as how pressure of gravity affects things.
Well, we're not really deep enough for gravity to be an issue yet, so we don't really have to worry about that too much. As far as the oxygen goes, we do have and he spouts off some technobabble about a particular type of generator and pump system. It's probably one that Billy's familiar with.
And then he's like, okay, but have you considered algae gardens within the mines themselves, so that you can have oxygen pockets build up on their own?
I don't think we have. I don't think we're quite at a point where we need something like that yet. The pump system kind of takes care of it for what we need right now. But if we get deep enough, at some point we might consider that. Liam, by the way, has a notebook out and is furiously scribbling all of this down. Any other questions before we move on to the next destination?
Captain wanting to be nice and throw the poor guy a softball says, how long have you been in operation?
Well, we separated from SME about a year ago. Operating is a strong word for what we did initially. It was more surviving than operating. It's a bit difficult to say exactly, but if I had to guess, I'd say we've been actually mining and producing product for about 3 months now.
Billy patiently waits to see if nobody else is asking questions, then starts asking questions on Jen. What type of drill bits? What sort of minerals are they picking up? Like, she's already asking questions like somebody who's in the business, who knows what they're asking questions about, and just starts asking.
In addition to those, Liam does jump in at one point and asks some questions about like their production schedules and vendors and things like that. And then also listens intently to Billy's questions and the answers. And yeah, other Billy gives you all the details that you're asking for the most part. Some of it he doesn't know, like the more technical parts. He's not really sure. But he explains.
He does make some suggestions of like alternate parts to look for that are either better grade or are just more effective.
He very politely listens, and it's a little difficult to tell if he's like seriously considering that as an option or is just being nice. But he does write some things down on his clipboard, so it looks like he's at least going to pass it on, if nothing else. He shows you the trade post next, and then the dorms where they basically got it's almost like a barracks, really, for the workers. That's been significantly improved. So it houses about half as many people as it used to, because they gave people more room and personal space. And then, yeah, they take you down into the mines, where it basically just shows you the operation and how they take the ores and metals and everything out of there. We can kind of fast forward to that part unless there's something specific you all want to do. Okay.
I am not playing a character who is in love with explosions.
Fair.
Captain is just in the back of her mind thinking about how well she could haunt this place.
I love that. Liam asks a bunch more questions about like the business side of things while you're all down there. But eventually the tour comes to an end, and he kind of offers to drop you off at either the trade post or back at the ship. Where would you all like to go?
I think the trade post would be fine,
Okay.
unless anyone's like against that.
Billy is like dragging herself along, but she looks tired.
Okay. So Billy could go back to the ship if she wants to. Liam and Seth are going to be at the trade post. Captain and Seth could be at the trade post. What about Annie?
She'll just go with the majority, I guess.
Okay. While all of that is happening, back on the ship, is there anything that Lev or Sparky would like to do during that time?
Nothing I can think of especially. Like, probably just make a report on whatever findings about the mining colonies, the mining colony that we found out about from Carlisle, but yeah.
Okay.
Sparky is doing their best to take it easy because they know Lev could pop up at any point. It's like surprise inspections, so they're just kind of doing make work.
All right.
Lev is not sure what to do, so they're just in a boring time. We're just gonna read and chill and make sure everything's good in the med bay. I was like, these people have been told about a horror in the universe, and we're doing supply runs. Okay, all right, okay, cool.
Totally
Just
checks
gonna
out.
hang out then.
Okay. Well then, at some point, going back to the other group, at some point at the trade post, Seth and Liam step away. Liam looks to you, Annie, and says, "Hey, I'm gonna go talk numbers with someone. So I will be back later."
And yeah, Annie's gonna stop him before he gets too far away, and she's gonna say, "Hey, like, can I just talk to you for a second before you go?"
Like there's someone that he was talking to, that he sort of waves ahead, and he takes a few steps back to talk to you. It's like, yeah, what's up?
Well, what's up with me? What's up with you? What's with the fancy suit, dude?
Like I said, I'm thinking about investing in this place.
Okay. Like how hands-on investing are we talking about? Like what's the game plan?
I was gonna talk numbers with someone here and see what I can do. He kind of sighs for a minute and looks down. He's like, I'm feeling kind of pent up and a little bit useless on the ship. Like I can fly the thing. That's about all I can really do. But I'm actually pretty good at business stuff. And they look like they really need the help, so I'm thinking about seeing if I can help them run this place.
I mean, it might be a little hard to help them run the colony from.
Oh no! Did we lose V?
Oh no.
Business killed her.
All I could think while he's saying this is like, were you going to tell your sister at some point that you're
No.
planning on leaving?
100% no.
No.
Oh my god.
That's not how this family operates.
Oh, Lev. If Lev was present when this happened, Lev would smack them both in the back of the fucking head.
Pick them up by the collars.
That's not how you talk to people.
V just said that she'll be right back. Yeah.
Them Dodgers. Sport something.
Well, that sports ball team.
Hey, did you catch the sports ball?
I guess you could say they're in a minor league of their own.
Ah.
Oh goodness.
Fantastic.
Also, I got these amazing tumblers for like 75 cents each.
Nice.
And they're
Hey, that's
dishwasher
cheap.
and microwave safe.
Oh, very nice.
Fucking
Bonus.
huge!
That is
I love a
awesome.
good Tumblr deal.
I didn't think Tumblr existed anymore.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, it
They just
does.
don't
Secret.
want you to think
It's
it does.
just not
Oh, okay.
good anymore.
They took
It's,
all the fun
uh,
stuff off.
Great.
It's Metro Man from Megamind.
Ew.
My goodness.
Where he's like, I died. Don't look for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Army.
I think I've officially burned my favorite candle down all the way.
Oh no.
I'm sad.
That is sad.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Rip to
Especially
Tumblr.
since it comes from a tattoo shop that's really only open like when they're doing tattoos. So I would have to figure out when I can go buy one. But
This message, I'm like, hey, when do you have a client in? I need to come buy candle.
yeah, right. Like, hey, when are you inking someone next? I need another candle.
Well, you could just go and get more ink and a candle.
I mean, that's
That's-
fair.
I mean, once I get, $100+ bucks, I actually know what I like. I have a tattoo I want. So Dallas and I were talking about like I want to get a tattoo of my favorite Pokemon, which is both Drifloon and Drifblim, which are the balloon Pokemon. They're super cute and I love them. And then we were watching it, and I was like, how cute would it be to have Pennywise instead of having the red balloon carrying.
Oh my god, yes.
But then I was like, but what would I get? Would I get because I like them both, would I get the Bill Skarsgård Pennywise or would I get the Tim Curry Pennywise? And then Dallas was like, ¿Por qué no las dos? So now I'm designing.
There's two different
basically-
balloons you want.
Yeah, both Pennywises, one holding Drifblim and one holding Drifloon.
Hell yeah.
And I'm
Nice.
like,
That'd be-
yes. that would
Drifloons
be
do
a-
canonically steal children, so
Exactly, it works.
Here we go.
So, like,
And now
Pokemon.
back to your regularly scheduled program.
That's amazing.
yeah.
Maybe.
So, Annie was asking, what
I'm
was
so
it?
sorry about
Little
that.
shit boy.
It's
Yeah. Annie said it'd be a little hard to do that from the ship.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I probably need to be here. Not on the ship. If it
So you
works
wanna-
out.
You want to stay on the mining colony.
I mean, if it works out and I can actually do something, yeah.
Liam, I can't protect you from all the way on the ship.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm pretty sure it's more dangerous on the ship than it is here. Like, I mean, yeah, they've had some fighting and war and stuff, but like, SME's gonna be occupied for a while, it looks like. So I doubt they're going to come back here for a while. And I kind of just don't have anything to do on the ship. I can fly it, but so can the captain. I don't really go with you on stuff. I don't really know how to hack things or fly shuttles into buildings in a way that doesn't kill everyone in the shuttle. I'm not a doctor or able to smooth talk my way through things like I'm, whatever disguise. So, yeah, I don't really know how to do any of that stuff. And I'm pretty sure you wouldn't let me do a lot of that stuff anyways if I was on the ship. It's like, but I did go to school for this type of thing. And so figure might as well use it for something productive that's gonna help people and not just screw people over.
She reaches out and kind of like runs her fingers back through his hair instead of ruffling it up this time, just kind of like smoothing it back into place. And she cups like his cheek in her hand. And she's trying not to show that she's too upset about the whole situation, but it's kind of bleeding through a little bit. And, she's trying to be as supportive as she can, but it's clearly, distressing her. So she kind of just like, smooths his hair back and puts her hand on his cheek. Those are skills that you can learn. I'll teach you anything you want to know, but I can't stay here with you when everything is going on, and I don't want to leave you here by yourself.
Well, I mean, I won't be completely alone. And about that point, you can see Seth is, standing a few steps behind Liam. He sort of leans to the side. It's like, hello.
She gives Seth a little smile. She's like, hello, Seth. She focuses her eyes back on Liam. She said, listen, not to bring up old wounds or anything, but the last time we found you, you did have yourselves in the hands of the cartel. So I mean, we're splitting hairs here, buddy.
I mean...
And Seth was with you at that time, too.
Fair. Cartel's kind of on the ship right now, so, there's that.
I'm there.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't want to not be where you are, but I kind of need to do my own thing and help this whole situation in my own way. And it's not like you won't know where I am or that we can't video call and stuff.
And what if something happens and I can't get back to you fast enough?
Well, I mean, they've held out through a lot of stuff here. Everybody here seems to kind of know how to handle themselves, and Sonia was saying something about this smuggler guy that they've got working for them now that seems to know his stuff. So I'm sure it'll be fine. And besides, I still have to talk to them about numbers and see if it makes sense and see if they have something for me to do. I mean, otherwise I could look and see if there's something I could do to get involved with the fuel at Matt's thing. If this doesn't work out.
She kind of tilts her head to the side and like looks at him and I liked it a lot better when you were 12 and you couldn't tell me what to do.
He just gets this big grin on his face. He's like, yeah.
I don't want you making a big deal of yourself or, catching any attention. Just, I don't want Dad getting wind of this.
Oh, don't worry. I'm not using my own name. Liam's the only one we didn't come up with an alias for, dang it.
She kind of laughs because she knows that anything that's about to come out of his mouth is going to be absolutely fucking outrageous. And she already knows that.
Yeah, he spouts off some name.
I have a name suggestion. Chet Silverstein.
Oh God,
Oh my
absolutely
God,
not. Annie would not
no.
let any of her brothers, no brother of Annie's is going to be named Chet. She'll find something for him, I'm sure. She doesn't want to say yes. It's very clear that she doesn't want to say yes. So what she says instead is, give me some time to help you figure this out. And let's pick the conversation up after you've made your plans and talked your numbers and crunch whatever you have to crunch. And then we can talk about it again, okay?
That sounds good. I mean, don't worry. I wasn't planning on just, sneaking off the ship and not telling anybody anything. I just doing the preliminary stuff.
When he says not thinking about sneaking off the ship without telling anyone, Annie gives him a very specific look because that might perhaps be how she left the house when he was 12. So she gives him a pointed look. But then her expression kind of softens again and she nods. She says, okay, you go do what you got to do and come back to me later, okay?
That sounds good. And knowing that, yeah, Liam definitely makes some specific reference to, the window or something that Annie went out of or whatever. It's definitely a specific reference if that's the case. And yeah, he gives you a smile and says, yeah, we're going to do our due diligence here. And then if it makes sense, then yeah, we'll talk about it and everything before it happens. And if it doesn't, then don't have to worry about it at all.
Annie's under her breath, she's like, due diligence. Clearly poking fun at him, but she kind of returns his smile and gives him a little, a little tap under the chin, just gently with her hand. Kind of leans around him just a little bit, gives Seth a little wave, and then, she goes on, lets him do what he has to do.
All right. They head off.
Annie is going to return. Annie's going to return her ass straight to the ship. And she's going to send off a couple messages.
Okay. What are the messages?
She is going to contact a friend and ask them if they would be willing to meet her at the mining colony.
Would this friend's name happen to start with an A?
Certainly does.
Okay, cool.
Yay!
I think they would be amenable to that request.
Excellent.
Sorry. Oh, Jay, your comments in the chats are just spot on tonight. You're cracking me up over here. Okay, so yeah, that's totally fine. Anything anybody else wants to do here before other things start happening?
I think Captain wants to talk to Annie.
Okay.
So is Annie in her room?
Yes, ma'am.
Then after politely knocking,
Does she wait for Annie to say come in, or
yes,
does she just knock
yes.
and go in?
No, she waits because that's how
Okay.
she do.
Annie just yells out for her to come in.
She goes in and says, Annie, you are very good at finding people, correct?
Yeah, Cap. What did you need?
I was wondering if perhaps you could help me find my creator?
Oh, yeah, Cap. I mean, I'd be willing to give it a try. Do you have any starting points or anything that you remember specifically? Or, I mean, given the circumstances.
Unfortunately, my memory does not extend beyond when I woke up here. I have been informed that I was used as a tool by the cartel for some time. But beyond that, my memory is not accessible. I do not know where I came from. I assume I had a singular creator. Nothing about my code informs me that multiple people did it, because when you have multiple people designing something, you can see imprints of it.
Right.
My coding all seems to be consistently the same, which tells me it was one person.
Okay. I mean, yeah, let me she kind of looks distractedly at her computer for a second, and then kind of draws her eyes back to Cap. She's like, yeah, let me do some digging. I'll see if I can find any, maybe start with any instances of unique androids. Do a little digging and see if there are any specific creator names attached to them. Maybe just somewhere that we can, a direction just to take off in. So let me take a look. I'll do a little digging around and we can go from there.
Fantastic. Thank you.
No problem.
Did you perchance speak with Liam about his apparel today?
I did, I guess, in a way. Not about the apparel in particular, but yeah.
Is everything all right with him?
Yeah, everything's fine. He's he and Seth are just plain businessmen. They're gonna take a look around and see kind of what the colony is doing, and they're a little interested in the back end of things. So nothing to worry about, really.
Oh, they're interested in investment?
Yeah, they're gonna take a look and see maybe if they can help out in some way, get a little piece of the action,
Interesting. They are young but responsible, I believe.
Yeah, for as silly as they are, I think so.
Well, thank you. Let me know what you find.
Will do, Cass.
And Captain just leaves.
All right. Is there anything else that you all want to do here before we progress forward? Okay. Sometime later, Liam and Seth do come back. And Liam comes to talk to Annie. And he's got a folder with spreadsheets and tons of things like that in it. And he knocks on Annie's door, I guess. That's probably be where he goes.
Yeah, she comes and opens up the door for him.
And he just looks at you and smiles and says, well, it makes sense. They need funds that I actually have access to set aside, and they don't really know what they're doing in some regards. So I can actually help them. He's kind of doing the little nervous fidget. Business words. Yes, Hannah, business words.
Annie just kind of nods. She's like, yeah, kid, makes sense.
So, yeah, how do you feel about that?
I hate it. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for you. I absolutely hate the thought of you being out of my sight. It makes me feel ill. It makes me very nervous. But I can't expect you to stay by my side like you're 10 years old again. And, it wouldn't be fair for me to do that. But I do have some conditions to that I quite frankly, I was going to say that you might not like, quite frankly, I don't care if you like them or not. And that's just the way it's going to be.
He just chuckles like, yeah, okay, Mom. What are they?
I've asked somebody to come and give you a hand and to keep an eye on you for a little while. And I don't know how long they can stick around. I don't know what that's going to look like, but at least it provides you with a little bit of extra protection for now, just until you get your feet under you and we can make sure that this is a safe route for you to take.
All right. I've got no problem with that. That sounds good. Is this anybody I know?
No, this is somebody that I've worked with for quite some time. He works with the trash pandas, actually.
Oh, wait, is this the frog guy?
This is the frog guy, yeah. He's gracefully accepted my request to come kind of stick around for a little while. And it would make me feel a lot better to know that I have somebody here with you that we can trust. Not to say anything about Sonia or her people or anything like that, but just a little bit of an extra set of eyes, just in case you need anything, just in case, something, knock on wood, goes wrong. It just make me feel better to have somebody else here with you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's fine. Why would I hate that?
I don't know, something about being smothered by your big sister and having amped up security or something. I don't know. I just didn't figure you'd like to be chaperoned.
He just laughs and shakes his head. He's like, no, I appreciate your concern. And
he kind of lowers her voice a little bit, and she looks out into the hall to see if there's anybody there. And she's like, well, to be honest with you, it's a little more for both you and Seth. I worry about him sometimes, I feel like he's probably going to get himself into some shit here. And then he's, the both of you just need an extra little hand, I think.
he chuckles and he's like, so are you really worried about Seth, or are you just saying this to make me feel better?
I don't know which answer makes me look cooler, kid. very concerned big sister or the flippant, protocol big sister.
Well, the difference is kind of either. I mean, I'm gonna be fine either way. But if you actually are worried about Seth, then I'm gonna have to listen to him theorize on, if that means you care about him, and then what type of care do you care about him, and
Oh, for God's sake.
it'll be a whole thing.
You know what? If the two of you are going to be staying static on a mining colony for any extended period of time, maybe he needs a little excitement in his life. So, you know what? Let's leave it ambiguous. Who can say, really?
I'm gonna have to listen to talk to this about this for days. All right, I will let him know. But yeah, I don't mind the extra help or somebody looking out for us, especially if they have ties to the trash pandas, because we might need help. Goody, that comment in chat.
He's a good kid. There's no harm in it.
Oh my goodness. Anyways, so yeah, that's pretty much the gist of the conversation that Liam has. And yeah, he starts packing up his stuff. And he does ask, so how long are y'all gonna stick around?
I mean, at least until Alistair shows up.
Okay, so at least a couple days then, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else in particular that Cap or the rest of the crew is looking to do, but at least that long. Yeah,
All
we have
right.
some time.
Yeah, we'll be able to spend some time together and hang out and have like family day. Yeah.
Yeah, family day. That's gonna be fun. No, I'm kidding. There is one thing that I want to do. I want to make sure that you are set up with your funds. If there is anything additional that you need, or if you're going to need to take any money out from family funds, then we can do that before I go, just to make sure that it is properly routed out and not traceable back to this planet.
That's fair. I mean, I did put it through a bunch of different shell accounts before I moved it to where it is now. It should be fine.
All right, if you're confident in that, then
Dad never
we'll
checked those accounts anyways, so I'm sure he won't miss it, even if I didn't do a good job.
Well, better to be safe than sorry. But if you're confident that you've put them through enough, then that's fine with me. She is absolutely going to secretly check those routes.
I love that. Cool. Well, yeah, Liam sort of wraps up the conversation and then starts packing up his stuff. As Seth is also doing. Is there anything else that anybody wanted to do before we wrap up the session? Funny, Goody just asked in our chat, so what's Rip been doing? Funny you should ask.
I was really hoping we could get away with it, so no one would mention it.
I hate this.
The camera is gonna pan away from the crew and the ship, off to a little secluded, sort of box canyon just outside the camp, where there's a little like trail that comes in from either side in this little box canyon, and Captain Stryker is at one end. He's got his long military style coat sort of fluttering in the breeze. And Rip is at the other end with his duster also, moving in the breeze. It's such an iconic scene that you can practically hear the Western music.
Is the good, the bad, and the ugly playing in the background?
Very, very similar to that.
Good. Yes, I agree, Alex. Then they kiss.
Damn kiss.
And then they kiss.
We don't see them do that. But Tom does look at Rip and say, "You got a lot of nerve showing up here." After crap, my mind just went blank on the name of the place. One
Topsfield
moment.
Prime?
No. Where is it at?
Was it the city with the compound? Or the place with compound?
Mm-mm. Oh, he says you've got a lot of nerve showing up here after what happened on Proxima. And Rip just sort of smirks, and they both do the showdown, moving their coat behind their pistols, and the camera starts to pull away and kind of goes up above the canyon, and then there's a shot that rings out, which everyone can hear, and then that's where we're gonna end.
Hell yeah. We get a much better guy. Rip's dead. Everything's great.
Cutie, this is okay. Yes. So yeah, next week maybe we'll find out what happened with that. Actually, you probably will. So yeah, we'll find out what happened with that next week. And then we're gonna go on a raid here shortly. But before we do, I want to give everybody a chance to say what their favorite part was, where we can find them next, and anything they'd like to share or plug. We'll go reverse order from how we did intros. We'll start with Goody.
Let's see here. My favorite part was, I think, having a quite literal birds and the bees conversation with Billy. Like, what's pollination? Well, it's how trees and plants reproduce. But also the, like, trying to have a conversation with Billy in her room, but then, like, everyone and their dog is walking by. And then even poor Sparky, it's like, are they okay? Yeah, I'm good. Like, Doc, please check on them. But yeah, I'm not really doing anything. I'll be here next week. Yay.
All right. Next, Hannah, what was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
My favorite part was definitely Annie's comment about needing to steal them a sense of humor. I just think it's silly little mini conversation that happened that made me laugh so hard. I loved it. And I haven't gotten to see much of Annie yet, and I have loved every moment of her so far. So. As for where can folks find me, next next Friday on this channel. I should be back for Avatar at noon Mountain Time. We're doing shenanigans. We're going to Ba Sing Se. Or outside of Ba Sing Se. It's fine. We're not a mess.
Yeah. So most amazing, though.
Thank
you. You're welcome. Canned, what was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug? I think you might be muted.
Testing.
There you go.
Muted now. Okay, good. My favorite part was Annie realizing that she kind of has to let Liam do his own thing, even though she doesn't want to, and she's gonna make sure he's safe, damn it. But also, she's gonna make him feel bad because she's worried about him.
It's adorable.
Yeah. It gave me sibling feels and feels I have as an older sibling. So yes, that was my favorite part tonight. You can find me back here on next Saturday.
Awesome. V, what's your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
Favorite part. I also did like Sparky poking their head out, like, hello. That one made me giggle. Also, Hannah, really glad that you liked that little moment with Annie. She's an absolute hoot to play, and I'm glad we got to see a little more of her this episode. I also did quite like the little conversation with Liam. I mean, obviously we knew it was coming, but she's gonna play all her cards to make sure that he is going to be safe. And maybe that just involves a very big, beefy, white-haired guy with the knowledge to build cool robot shit to come and help the dudes. So we'll see Alistair show up eventually, and that's going to be really fun. I'm excited. But as for myself, you can find me here next Saturday for more Animus, and you can also check out my art on my art Twitter. It's a little bit quiet as of right now, but I'm slowly getting back into the swing of it. So that's at Peppero Draws. That's Pepper like the candy, and that's it.
Awesome. And who knows? Maybe this beefy white-haired boy will have a robot friend with him.
Yes, perhaps so.
Oh no.
That totally will not make the binding colony more dangerous. Well,
Annie's gonna see that and be like, "What have I done? This is not safer. This is the opposite."
Oh,
Captain's
goodness.
just gonna straight up try to kill it.
Next we got Jay. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
My favorite part was probably biting my tongue right at the end. It was probably Billy going out and trying to go to the cliffside but not understanding what a horizon is, because I love that idea of like, yeah, everything's just tunnels. You just find your way. It's like living in a molehill. But then just covered in dirt and like pouches full of plants. Like it fills me with a strange kind of glee to imagine someone like full to the brim of little plants here and there. And also the little circle around the table with Daisy. It was good stuff. Where you can catch me next is next Saturday, same time, same channel. And I have nothing to plug as of yet.
That was a suspicious glance and tone on yet.
Don't invest on it. It's just, wait till the market shares come out.
Okay. Business words, got it. Stonks. That just leaves me my favorite part. It's really hard to pick one because you're all wonderful and I loved all of your characters. Oh hey! Thanks for the raid! Welcome in. I hope you all had a great stream. Thanks for the raid, Magic Fish Radio. We're wrapping up this one right now, so we're gonna go double raid here soon. So yeah, my favorite part, like I said, it's hard to pick because all of your characters were like really awesome today. I really enjoyed the Annie and Liam moments because, like you were saying, V, like we've known this is happening out of character, but like experiencing it in character is a bit different, and that was very touching. I really enjoyed that. No worries, Magic Fish Radio. Other favorite parts, I loved Lev showing up with the tea, and the whole like party in Billy's room situation that sort of happened there, especially with Daisy.
Billy is half asleep and everybody's in her room while she's trying to put on pants.
One pant leg on.
Yep.
I hate that I've been there.
Same. And the part where Daisy was walking by with a giant iced coffee and Lev's like, nope. No coffee. So that was really fun. And the talk between Captain and Billy, Sparky poking their head out was really fun. The whole thing was just great. and I know a lot of us are feeling the effects of this entire week. So it was always amazes me that even when we're all like blah, brain blah, I can't even think of the word. We still have a good time with these characters, and I always love that. It's always a lot of fun. So those are my favorite parts and favorite things about this episode. Where you can find me next will be Tuesday, right back here at 6 p.m. Mountain Time for Champions of the Fae. We'll be getting back into the swing of that with I'll be playing my character Jinx, who's a 6-inch tall sprite, and she's like a cross between Pinkie Pie from My Little Pony and Nora from Ruby. She's really fun. Other things to share or plug. All I have at the moment to talk about is our sponsors, which are there in chat. They are Fundamental RPG. It's the system that this game runs on, Animus. And the physical books look like this. You can get your own copy on Amazon if you want the physical book, or if you prefer PDFs, or if you just want to try the free quick play guide, you can grab those at coffee.com/raven, like it's spelled in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. And it's a simple D20 system that's not tied to a genre, so you can use it for things like sci-fi, like we're doing here, or you can do high fantasy or
Raven,
anything.
Aren't you working on something to do with campaigns, like an sci-fi oceanic campaign set with the fundamental systems?
Yes, I am. I'm still working on Water, which is a sci-fi ocean survival game, and I'm still working on like the Animus system, which is powered by Fundamental RPG, but will be its own thing. So yeah, there's a lot of things I'm working on. They're just a little bit further out on the horizon for now. But yeah, that's Fundamental RPG, and then our Anti-Dune Water. That's actually not inaccurate. Now that I think about that, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, it is the Anti-Dune. Our other sponsor is Die Hard Dice. They sell amazing polymer and metal dice sets and accessories. Even before they were a sponsor, my dice bag was like 90% Die Hard Dice. So they're just awesome. Go check them out at dieharddice.com. If you use the code FUNRPG, all one word, you can get 10% off of your order. And then I really recommend checking out the Alessia Bloodfire set. They sent that to me recently. And let me grab those so you can see. They are really pretty. It's like this fiery honey color. I really like it, and they roll really well. So you can pick up your own set. There's a link straight to that particular set there in chat. And I think that is everything for me. So I will see you all on Tuesday, and we're going to go on a raid here. Let's see who is online. Let's go raid. Looks like the Onyx Path is running some tabletop stuff. We'll go say hello to them over there. And then I will see you all on Tuesday. Bye, everybody.